Hello and welcome to the Robo Samurai channel, and today I'm going to be bringing you a review of the Transformers Legacy Evolution Metalhawk. And yeah, I'm just going to be doing an unboxing as well. So let's take a look at the box and you can kind of see everything about it. Let me see if I can't raise this up for you, little guy, a bit here so that you can see a little bit better. Here's the artwork on the front of it, and it's cool. And then there's the artwork on the side of it, and it's also cool. Metalhawk, and then you can kind of see the back here, and there's the Evo Fusion, okay, that thing, and then there's this, and then there's the side art there. Yeah, so, and then you can see this is the plastic-free packaging. That's what it says right here. So anyway, let's get it going. Oh yeah, on top there is a QR code. I will put the link to the description. I'll put the link to this in the description below. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, let's go ahead and unbox this thing, shall we? All right. Gonna take the knife and cut it open. But there we go. I think that'll do it. Yes, I always open these things from the bottom when I can. Why? I don't know. Just how I do it. I also think it's less complicated. So, oh yeah. So, basically, so Metalhawk was a pretender, and I don't have the pretender here. But the pretenders are basically, you know, they were a robot inside of a shell. And this is meant to invoke like the inner robot that was inside that shell. So you can see here he's got that piece of paper that tells you about those things, which refer nothing to the product but more the safety of the product, you know, and all that other stuff. So yeah, so we got this here. Okay, yeah, let's put this aside and let's take a look at this. Now, supposedly he is a remold of Scourge, so we'll see. Alrighty, and he's got a couple of weapons here. One there, and then one here. Alright, and then we've got this thing here. Okay, I don't know. Been successful in pulling these things out. Undoing them, is that what I meant to say? But I don't know, like without ripping the packages. This might be one of the ones where I actually wind up ripping the package, but almost there. Anyway, so yeah, this is his inner robot, and if you've seen the Super God Master Force anime, then you'd probably be more familiar with this design, because this is how he looks in there. At least that's what I'm told. So let me go on ahead and do the dangerous thing and cut these here. And there we go. And woo, wouldn't that be something? There we go. And then yeah, I could have done this from the back. One here, and there's one more here. Be very careful with sharp things, everybody. All right, because you know, that's a good disclaimer here. So, all right, I'm gonna put this over here. You can see all the paper ties have been cut, and so is our attachment to that thing that was holding it to him. Okay, so, and then you see the instructions we have here. And then they give us all sorts of options for, you know, him holding his weapons, storing his weapons on his back, which is a sword, and then also combining his weapons, and then or at least the two here, and I'll show that off in just a bit. Basically what they're telling us is that you can take these two weapons here, which are just cast in this plastic here, and you can combine them thusly, I believe, just like that, and then he'll have a double-barreled weapon, which you can hold in either hand, and I assume that he holds them fairly well. So yeah, that looks good. And then he also has his sword, and looks like this. Looks cool to me. And then according to the instructions, you should be able to just plug it into this port back here for storage. If you want to do that, then there it is. Looks pretty cool from my perspective. Okay, so that's it. So he can hold this in one of his hands, or you can split it apart and he can hold it in both of his hands. So that's how we got going there. I'm just gonna put these together and put them off to the side, and let me lower the camera angle just a touch here, and we will get into the figure itself. Okay, so it looks pretty interesting. We've got well, it's pretty cool, but let's not talk about the articulation quite yet. Let's get up on his head there and the chest, looking pretty good. His head is that on a ball peg? Yeah, it is, but it's kind of got limited motion, so I mean it can't really look up and down, but it is on a ball peg. So yeah, it's a pretty good looking head sculpt all in all. He has, let's see here, yeah, pretty good. A little bit of paint down here. He's got the Autobot symbol, a little bit of paint there. These look like they're painted. Yeah, I can't say. Oh, so part of this is painted, like this piece right here is painted, and this isn't. It's just cast in red plastic. Yeah, so these are painted because they're part of this blue part here. But yeah, he got all that there. Yep. So he looks like, let's see here, does he have waist swivel? Yep, he has a waist swivel all the way around, in fact. So we've got that going. He's got that going for him. He can also rotate his arms all the way around. He's got elbow bend, that much, and then of course the bicep swivel, which gets you about that far. The wing stops it in a little bit, and then the wrists. Do the wrists swivel? Yeah, the wrists actually swivel too. So that's not too bad. Let's see here. So he's got the splits and that way, and he's got it this way as well. He's got a swivel here, as you can see, held on by a double mushroom peg. And then he also has a over 90-degree knee bend. Does he have toe tilt? Not, well, I guess so. I mean, it's more like in this motion, not forward. And then he does have ankle rockers, so some extreme ankle rockers. So you can get him into an amazing pose where he's doing that. So, all right, so that's what we got there. Yeah, so not too bad. I think what we're dealing with here is a little bit, is this painted? Yeah, I think it's partially painted. So, you know, there's blue cast plastic. There's some painted plastic up here too as well. So, yeah, so that's kind of it. And so it follows in a lot of the ways the same way I've seen before. And the joints feel nice and tight. They do not feel loose whatsoever. So if this does look like a remold of the Cyclonus from Kingdom, if I'm not mistaken, and it doesn't feel like there's any mold degradation. But of course, this almost looks like an entirely new mold. So kind of good job there, Hasbro. All right, so let's go on ahead and let's transform him. And I'm going to be rolling along the directions here, even though I've done this before with Cyclonus. Let's see what the differences are. Not entirely sure. Okay, so the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to flip these hands in, just like that. One there and one here. All right, and then the second thing is we're going to take these here wings and we're going to fold them out like this, I believe. All the way this way. Are we supposed to flatten them? At least this much. So we're gonna they're on double hinge, and just like that. So there's that and that. Okay, and then we're going to, yeah, I think it wants us to kind of hold them in this position. The next thing we're going to do is I think we're going to have to open up this. Yeah, open up this. Is it this side? All right, this side. Open up this side. Okay, there it is. Found it. All right, so open up that, and then we're going to twist this around. Is that what we're dealing with? No, I don't like that. I don't think that's right. I think it's like this. Wait, let's see what the directions are actually trying to say. Oh, I see. They actually tell us just to untab these, because these wing assemblies are like this. And then since this chest piece locks these in right here, opening this up will unlock these tabs. So it'll allow you to open up this and that. So, all right. And so the next thing is to take this and just kind of fold it back. So these tabbed into here from the back. So you're just going to pull that away just like that. So now we're kind of dealing with this here, which looks a little bit familiar if you are familiar with the Cyclonus mold. Okay, so now we're going to flip this, I believe, like this. Yep, just like this. And then we're going to take the nose and pull that up just like that. And then we're going to close up this chest piece here. All right, so we got that going on there. And then the next step we're going to do is going to be closing this back up here. So we're going to close this and collapse that. But I believe we're going to leave those out. So yeah, we want to leave these out when you collapse it. So we don't want to put these back in. At least I'm hoping that's what how I'm interpreting it is correct. Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, so we plug those in. Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, so now if you take the figure like this, we're going to lift up these, I believe. Is it here? Okay, right here. Yep. So you're going to lift up these areas here. All right, got both of those out. And then we're going to take, hold on a second here. There we go. And we're going to flip the feet in. Yeah, very nice, very nice. And then we're going to flip these open here, just like that. And then we're going to collapse these back down. So those will tab back down there. There's a tab right there. Wait, is there? Make me a liar? Okay, so we're just going to close these back down this way. And then we're going to close that on top of it. Do the same thing on the other side. And that kind of locks very nicely there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to... oh, did I do this right? Okay, yeah, so we're going to push this in. Push the legs in like that. And you see how that goes? So I'll do it from the side so you can, on the other side, so you can see it just pushes straight in. Okay, so that should fit just nicely. And then, if I'm not mistaken, we're probably going to collapse this next according to the instructions. Yeah, we're going to take this, and there's a big tab here and a big slot there. Just do that, okay? Now that we've done that, we're going to take this whole top assembly now that was facing this direction, and when we snapped it back in, we're going to turn it all the way around. And in order to do this kind of nicely, just angle this out of the way, because if you don't, it's just going to get in the way. So angle it down like that, flip this down like that. And now we're lining up this slot to fit into this tab here, which I hope is the next instruction. Yeah, sure is. Okay, so and then we plug it back in like that. And then after that, we want to take these here and we're going to close them up thusly. So if you look, and we straighten these out, so you see this is kind of a mess. We want these to be out like this, his arms, and then this is a tab that's going to go in this slot tab, just to get the terminology correct, and go ahead and plug that in there. And then we're going to take this and we're going to take and fold this out, and then this will tab right into there, and then that'll complete that one side. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'll show you from the underside here what that looks like. And you can see that this piece will tab it, will kind of slide into this slot right here. So this is kind of a tab. And then we tab that in, and then that there. And then we're going ahead and we're going to close it like that. And there. So that's, and that kind of completes that piece. And yep, so those are all snapped in. Is that pretty much it? I think so. There we go. Metalhawk in his jet mode. And yeah, it looks really good, guys. That's pretty good. And you know what? You can, if you have the Cyclonus mold, you'll notice like some of the things like the fuselage, the jet fuselage nose and everything else, how it folds and everything like that, and how it folds in, and then some of this other stuff and how the legs kind of work. But there's a lot of stuff that was remolded on this, and it looks really good. You know, bravo, it's a pretty good job. You know, I mean, there's a lot of remolding. It's a good looking transformation, and it's solid too. This is not does not feel cheap in the hands in terms of, like, you know, quality. So and it doesn't feel loose at all. And there's actually this looks like it almost would flip out, and I kept thinking that, but there's nothing here that flips out. Let's see here. A little closer look at that. Nope. See, yeah, nothing. So all right. So I think, wasn't this in? See, it looks like it's a separate piece, and I think in Cyclonus maybe that was, and this is just glued together now, so not too bad. Anyway, so yeah, so they recommend that you can go on ahead and mount the weapons. Like, you can take these here, which actually would kind of complete the look, right? Split these apart, and then there are 2 slots right there, and you go on ahead and plug those in there. And you do the same thing on the other side. You got the same thing going on there, and there we go. So you've got those there, and then you can take the sword, and there's 2 slots right here. These 2 pegs will fit there. If you so desire, you can push that in there and then have them do that. The one thing that I would caution you about, though, on this is that these are painted panels. So and it might rub off on here. I don't think that it has, but you know, so if you want to display him in his alt mode like this, and you want to put the sword on top, just be aware of that little fact. So yeah, so there we go. That is Metalhawk in his jet mode there, and it looks really good. I like it. I don't have any of the other. I don't have the original version of him. I know that they released some. There was one, I think, in the Titan's Return line where he was a headmaster. I do have that one sitting around, but it's I don't really have I don't have that out. So, but here he was. What's what he looks like here, and I think that this actually, you know, adding these weapons here really does help it, the whole mode. Although it would be more interesting if this were painted somehow, you know, like these actually make back like wings here, and that would probably help it a little bit, but still, it's pretty nice. Anyway, there you go. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I will talk to you guys later.